What up, guys? It's Travel Building here, and I wanted to make a video on Project Shinobi and whether or not it's going to fail or not, based on a couple things that I've seen from some people playing the game and going into the Discord and learning a couple things about it. Uh, Basically, let me give you a rundown. Project Shinobi is made by a single developer. It's going to be an open world RPG that's around the Naruto universe, right? Now, that's is generally that's what's gonna be. Right now, it's still early development, of course, but just speaking on just what we see now, I wanted to talk about the good parts that I've seen about it, which is the visuals of the jutsus and Naruto himself. Because when you compare them to other early access games, like it seems like so far it's really like put together. Like the jutsus look good, the animations look good, the overall style of the player character, which is Naruto, looks amazing. Also, I wanted to talk about the mission system and the potential that this whole game has to be something really good. I think it's been a lot of care brought into the mission system about how different, how you can add missions, subtract missions. I know like something for RPG open world that's like really important, especially early on. To see it this early on is really good. But from what I've seen, that's about all the good things I can really say about it. Now we're on to the things that I noticed and that really needs to be fixed overall, and the like main reasons why it's holding it back from being like anything I would consider like watching. Like right now, I wouldn't really watch this. I will like somebody has to bring it up in conversation if I will even check it out. Like recently, it hasn't even really got that many updates, but of course, it's being made by one developer. And updates gonna take a while. It is an RPG, but let's talk about the bads. What I got first is the different styles. And what I mean by that is the style between how the player character looks versus the environments versus the Leaf Village versus, it's not cohesive. It looks very different. It looks like, to be honest, it looks like he got the, landscape, like the actual trees and grass from like assets, and he either made or he got another assets for all the Leaf Village and Naruto player character. I don't know this, I'm just speculating really. But it just, either if it did or didn't really matter. It's just that it's not cohesive. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. It doesn't look like it's all one art style. It looks very like jarring. Like if you're not in the Leaf Village, the moment you step out, it looks very jarring. It would be better to replicate, Shinobi Striker or any of the Storm games. How their art style is cohesive and stuff. But another thing is, I think that the main reason that a lot of bugs and issues occur in this game is because of white box levels. I believe that they play a hand at not helping the developer see a clear like point of interest. I believe that right now it's kind of like messy. I could just tell because like how some stuff looks clean, some stuff looks rushed, some stuff looks good, some stuff looks bad, but it's all in like different places, and it's really weird. For example, like when you're moving throughout the village on foot, and you could get clipped on various things. Wall running is very iffy. It works sometimes it doesn't, and like when you get out into the environment, like there's practically nowhere to wall run. So it kind of like defeats the purpose of having it at all. It's really buggy when when it's supposed to work, and it doesn't have a use for it 90% of the time, which is usually out of the village. And also movement in general when you turn into Kuruma, it you get clipped on trees, and some trees have hitboxes, some don't. It's like very the world doesn't fit what the player character can do. You know, another thing is that I seen that I just wanted to touch on because it really made me like really cry was the just the destruction of the buildings and the testing level. Like obviously I could tell that's like a script that you could put on any object to make it destructible, but just I feel making it destructible would just very much help it. It's really grossly jarring to see a building crack open like an egg. It's like what that's hollow inside, you know. It's really jarring, you know. That's why I don't believe that he made the assets for the buildings, because they, you know, if you're gonna make an asset and you say this is gonna be destroyed, you usually can see inside the asset to see, you know, or you replace it with a model that's already destroyed and, you know, blah blah blah, going through all that. Okay, after I get that little nitpick out the way, the overall, you know, I just wanted just to say that it's really not realistic. See, in game development world, we have something called scope, and the scope of this is like almost max. Like anything higher than the open world RPG is an MMO, and it's like right there neck and neck somewhat. But if it's one developer on this project, like he's got all these systems in place that can contain content, but the amount of balancing and the amount of just it would be such a headache for him just to balance it all by himself, and that's why it's not feasible. Also, you know, anything can be done over time, but it's just a matter of, is it worth the time to come up with something that you might not even finish? The longer a project goes on, the more opportunity it is to not get completed. That's why deadlines are important. Because if you say, oh, I can work on this forever, as soon as you lose a bit of passion, as soon as you lose a bit of spark, it's going to really take a toll on whether or not you finish this project. But, you know, with these projects, people usually, you know, want feedback. Instead of talking about what I don't like, let's talk about ways to fix it. First things first is a white box level. For those who don't know, white box levels is a level that's completely flat, that has a checkered, you know, checkered floor, and is used to test out all the features and, you know, anything that would work. If you have a white box level, anything that works in the white box should be easily transferable to the actual world. And I think he did it at the same time, and by it I mean adding the world and the player character at the same time. And since he did it at the same time, he's gonna have to change one of them, either the world or the character, because right now they don't mesh together. The character has precise movements, you know, wall running, and has these jutsus, but the world is so contained when I'm talking about the Leaf Village, and vastly too open when you're talking about the, you know, outer village play. It's just it doesn't feel like one's been made and then the other one's been made to fit. It looks like both of them were added at the same time, which I'm guessing they were. Now, also what would help for advertisement and to, you know, have more people be like, oh, this can actually, you know, this can work. This is looking like really nice, is to have an actual demo. Now the game right now, you can do a mission and that's about all. Mission doesn't really end. You don't get a mission complete. You know, you don't get a confirmation from Kakashi, the person that gave you the mission. It's really just you go kill Itachi, and that's it. It doesn't say go here to go claim your reward. Well, it does say go to, you know, training grounds, but I've never seen a video of somebody actually completing the mission or anything. So I think having a playable demo where, like, if you want that to be the first mission, then just have it there. And I know there's a tutorial, but tutorial demo not the same thing. Tutorial teaches you, demo shows you. You know, usually you're supposed to have those together, or sometimes cohesively in the game at the same time, but it all depends. Another thing is unifying the style, making Like, take Shinobi Striker for an example. Everything looks like it belongs. All the players, all the, fighters, the environments, enemies, they all look like they belong in this universe. They have the same shell-shaded style, anime style, whatever you want to call it. It's all cohesive. Nothing sticks out. And I think that's like, that's one of the the sad things about game development. You can work hours and days and months on making a cohesive style, but the sad thing about it is, if somebody notices that you have a cohesive style, it means you did it wrong. It means something sticks out. And if everything goes right, then you won't be even, nobody will know, because if it's such good, nothing's gonna stick out. So all that work for, no gratification, it's one of the things you gotta do, and knowing exactly which one to make before you make it. It looks like he just got off the heels of watching Naruto Shippuden. He's like, oh man, wouldn't it be epic if it was an open world RPG? Let me search it up. Oh, there's none. Let me make it myself. And that's what he has to show for. Like, it's passion projects only go as far as passion. And I'm gonna make another video talking about fruits of labor and stuff like that. Eating all the candy. You'll understand when I make the video. It's going to be about a similar project. But generally what I wanted to say was, if you have to have a clear vision in your mind as well as in your white box level, because they're going to change drastically. Not doing a white box level before this, you have to go through an enormous amount of iterations, way more if you didn't do a white box level. White box is only there to help you. It makes you understand what you can and can't do, because you might say, I want to have this, but okay, this might be too hard to make it. I'll just cut this and just add this. All that thinking and all that planning happens in that level, the white box. But if you all do it at the same time, it's really hard to just grasp what you're trying to do. So if you take that feedback really good, and you like really trying to amp up, just listen to the feedback. That's my feedback. It's not me just saying, oh, the game's bad. Game looks pretty good. The game doesn't have direction, but it has spirit and passion, so I will give it that. If something does happen new, I'll make a video on it, whether it got better or worse. Hopefully it gets better. That's it.